This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Monday, September 11th, 2023. I'm Kate Sharon. Indiana's new Secretary of Commerce says in order to continue the state's economic development momentum, spreading such deals around the state is absolutely critical. David Rosenberg was appointed to the post last month after Brad Chambers' 2-year contract expired. He served as the Chief Operations Officer for the IEDC since Chambers began his tenure in 2021, and said his experience over the last 2 years will be a big benefit for him.
I think our overall pipeline is right around $100 billion, and that's not just wishful projects. These are projects that are in some stage of development. We probably won't win every single one as much as we want to, but I think we're hitting at a pretty good clip right now. We'll continue to see that historic investment in the state.
Rosenberg said he plans to continue the state's focus on the 5E plan, which stands for Environment, Economy of the Future, Entrepreneurship, Energy Transition, and External Engagement. Michigan-based Lear Corporation and United Auto Workers Local 2335 in Hammond have reached a third tentative contract agreement. Our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana report the contract, if ratified by the union, will provide wage increases and keep health benefits steady for workers at Lear's Hammond plant. 2 previous contract proposals were shot down by workers over the last month. The new proposal will increase the top wage to $27.07 per hour, and an increase of $1.56 upon ratification. That would continue to increase to $34 an hour over the next 4 years. The amount of development Monroe County's Ellettsville has wrangled in the past few years has earned it the unofficial title of a modern-day boomtown. Now the growing town is set to build 250 new houses on its west side, along West State Road 46. IIB's Alex Brown has more.
The Ellettsville Plan Commission recommended rezoning an agriculturally focused plot measuring 115 acres Thursday after local real estate broker and developer Chris Smith announced plans for a project populating the area with townhomes, single-family homes, a grocery store, and other businesses. The land is undeveloped and largely used as a pasture for a family farm. The commission said the development is welcomed since it follows the town's new comprehensive plan and could serve as a village hub. The commission unanimously passed the rezoning request. Smith said the town's plan was used as a launching pad for the development. They plan to work together with INDOT to create new roads and other tweaks, as well as Smithville for broadband service. There is also talk of adding a fire station and setting aside land for a park. Members of the community in public comment and on social media were generally supportive of the proposal and the way development is being planned in the town. Some concerns include whether the school district can handle the number of children added through the new housing and how the environmental change will affect the watershed, as flooding has been a destructive and significant issue in the community. The question now goes to the town council for approval at its Monday meeting. If the rezoning is approved, the developer must return to the commission for any building plans or changes. If all goes well, construction could begin next year, meaning the first new homeowners could move in spring 2025. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Get ready, Northeast Indiana. We're headed your way. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the 2nd annual Engage Northeast Indiana event, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Tuesday, October 10th at the Grand Wayne Center. We'll be diving into talent, education, and other issues shaping the regional economy. You can find more at ibj.com/engage.
Dozens of schools and educators were recognized Friday at the Indiana Department of Education's 2nd Indiana Educational Excellence Awards Gala. Nearly $5 million in grants were awarded to schools and districts that promote educational excellence. The department recognized schools, districts, and individual instructors who excel in teaching STEM subjects, improving literacy, working with English language learners, and more. A group of Black civil rights organizations is amping up its call for racial equity to be taken into account as state and city leaders decide where to place chargers needed to support the growing number of electric vehicles. The push comes as Indiana government officials decide how to spend at least $100 million in federal funding on the state's EV infrastructure. The Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission creates new EV policies, and the city of Indianapolis seeks a $15 million federal grant to install its own charging stations. The Indiana Alliance of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion of Electric Vehicle Infrastructure and Economic Opportunities, a coalition of 25 organizations, formed in early 2022 to help ensure that federal funds were used by the state in an equitable manner and that EV chargers are placed in underserved communities. Evansville-based Liberty Federal Credit Union is the 2023 Credit Union of the Year, an honor awarded by the National Association of Federally Insured Credit Unions. The NAFCU represents over 4,700 credit unions nationally and said it chose Liberty for the accolade because it demonstrated an exemplary return to its customers and, quote, remarkable, quantifiable success in meeting its members' needs. IndyStar columnist Greg Doyle is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.